Easy people, welcome back to the new channel. We are the South Stand MCFC. I'm so sorry for the lack of material out the last few days. Me and Daps have been in Madrid. As you well know, we weren't in the best of moods flying home. So we thought, you know what, there's nothing better on a Friday night to assemble the panel together and chew the fat over the disappointment in Madrid.
Sorry, just talking of chewing fat and Madrid.
Well, yeah.
Pig's ear.
Yeah, pig's ear. We'll go into that in a minute. We was in the Plaza Mayor Square, and one of the finest waiters came over, and he recommended the dish of pig's ear. Now, I can only feel like the chef hasn't sold any pig's ear all day, and he felt bad for him, so he thought, these Mancunians, they look gullible, let's order a tray. So we ordered a tray of pig's ear, and I can tell you, it is exactly what it says on the tin. It is literally like picking up someone's ear and chewing it. Yeah, It was disgusting, and it cost us about €20 for the privilege of it. So, yeah,
Never
it
have
good.
The moral of the
But
story
welcome to Patrick. Yeah, welcome to Patrick. Welcome to Mason, Tony, and Martin. I will start with Patrick. Patrick. Very disappointing night in Madrid. I think Manchester City fans had a little bit of hope after the Newcastle game that we could go there and maybe give it a go. But it didn't happen. We were put away quite early. Kylian Mbappe was in devastating form. What's your thoughts after the game, Patrick? How are you feeling about that performance?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, both of you. Look, I'm going to say this. First time I've said this. I haven't said it even on my own channel. I almost cried. Like, I'm serious. I sat on my chair, and as an idiot, I bought a projector to watch this on the wall. I put a projector and I put the chair the other way. Sat there with my snacks. I said I've been gassed up by Newcastle. I was gassed up by Newcastle. I was like, Nico is here. He made Gundogan look good. We were very direct, and Madrid look shit, and they are. Let me be honest with you guys. Regardless how they rolled us over, Madrid hasn't been great. I've been watching them; they haven't been great. So I said, you know what? If we do what we did against Newcastle, we stay resilient and we cover how we covered against Newcastle, where we didn't go that far. We didn't have a high line because we knew Gordon and Isaac will hurt us. Same way as Mbappe. Yes, they're different players, but it's a similar thing. Isaac is one of the most informed strikers, and Gordon is one of the most scary wingers. Big up to Gordon. I hope he gets a move elsewhere. So I was having a hope that we will give them a fight. We'll put a fight. But when I saw the lineup, and I don't want to be a hater because I'm a Gundogan fan, and I'm a Bernardo Silva fan. But when I saw Bernardo Silva and Gundogan as a combo, something just told me that this is not going to look pretty. This is going to be sideways passing, and we're not going to create anything. Because I was looking at that team saying, so who's going to kick the balls in behind for Marmoush? To make it worse, Big Steve, my heart was broken when I saw Savio coming down the middle as a striker. And then Ford and Savio and Marmoush, I don't know what they were doing, what he taught them. They were all just bunching down the middle. And then Mendy decided to just have a free run with Valverde in our wings because there was nobody. So when the goals went in and I saw Josko on the floor, I sat there with my tea, which I didn't finish. I just held the cup. And my daughter asked me, "It's like, is everything okay?" I blanked out for a minute. I think there was Hello Darkness, my old friend, playing in my head because I just sat there saying, Jesus. And you know where I wanted to cry and I genuinely wanted to drop tears is when the Madrid fans started saying, Ole. And I looked at my players and said, this was us against Chelsea. I remember Fabregas walking around doing nothing, and the announcer saying, this City team is so good. Fabregas and the other guys are just walking. Chelsea is defeated. They just gave up. I remember us doing that to Arsenal where we played them, we say passing it around. I was like, Madrid is doing this to us and they're enjoying it. And it's so easy. And then looking at the players, I'm like, people are right. Some of these players are gone. And it's sad to see because these guys were one of the best in the world. So it was painful. To be honest with you, I know that Feyenoord was painful. I know that Spurs was painful because it was home. But this Madrid one, I think, hurt me the most because it's the way Madrid started toying with us. I think they were like, this is too easy. And we're like, there's nothing this team can do to us. And basically, there's nothing we could do. And before I pass it over to somebody's, where I saw that there's still hope in this team, that it's not all bad, the fact that Kovacic came on, right? And when Kovacic came on with somebody else, with McAtee, the team started playing as if they want it. And I was like, this is too late. What are you looking for? I don't know if anybody saw that. They started passing the ball so fast. I was like, so you have it in you. You have it in you. So I don't know if it's personnel because they changed and he changed the setup, but we started playing very fast football dubs. I saw that.
Do you not think that this is one of the things? Because I think, look, there's obviously certain players that people have got opinions on. Bernardo, Gundogan, Kyle Walker when he was here. Kovacic is another one that falls in there, right? And I'm a big Kovacic defender. You know, in the first game against Real Madrid, Kovacic was getting pelters left, right, and centre. I'm a big,
but he's not
because I honestly believe that in the last year and a half, Kovacic has been one of our best players, right? And I don't think it's a coincidence that Kovacic is one that really hasn't won much with us yet, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think, and it's hard because we all love Gundogan, we all love Bernardo Silva. But Kovacic probably deserves a place in this team more than those two do now, based on this season.
I said the same thing. He's been our best midfielder, isn't it?
Over the last year and a half.
Yeah, I feel like
apart from
I feel the
Rodri, he has
same.
been.
I don't think a lot of these players are fit though as well. I feel like we're from the outside looking in, but I feel like we've got players on that bench that he knows in his head cannot play full 90, can only play 60, etc., etc. Mason, coming to you. Same thing as Patrick. Do you think that the midfield battle was where it was key? Because against Newcastle, every single ball Nico picked up was forward and positive. I feel like against Madrid, he was a little bit scared of finding that forward pass, and like you say, Gundogan, etc. was going side to side. Are you still there, Mace? Yeah. So yeah, what do you think, Mace? Is he there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
I think he muted himself.
I don't think he can hear us.
I think he can.
No, I can hear you, Daps, but I can't hear
we can hear
everyone
you.
else.
You can't hear everyone else.
Well, you can hear.
I can hear everyone else, Basti.
Can you not hear me now?
Leave and come back, then you'll be able to hear Steve. If you leave and come back.
Tone, I'll throw it to you. Tone, I'll throw it to you. Midfield battle. I mean, it's all right people criticising the players, but it's all we've got at the minute. You know, them group of players. It's not like we can just pull someone out of our arse that's going to do this. We've got to go with them players. He's got to find a combination that works. He obviously thought that was going to work. Yeah. It's okay, McAtee, etc., coming on late in the game, but to start James McAtee in the Bernabeu Stadium, we'd have all gone mental. So, you know, Gundo, we know he's not the Gundo of years before. Bernardo, we know he's not the Bernardo before. I mean, do you think that it was won and lost in the midfield there? Or do you think it was the 4th minute goal that stabbed us?
The 4th minute goal definitely didn't help. To me, the lineup, I wasn't that keen. I thought I wanted us to really go for this. Martin had been saying this in the week in the build-up, and I completely agreed. Just go for this game. And the lineup to me just felt a little bit sort of safe, see how the game goes type team. I would rather have had, you know, Pep knows obviously far more than I do, but I would rather have had Nico, Bernardo, maybe Foden in that middle instead of Nico, Bernardo and Gundo. I just don't like, I didn't like that three. To me, it just didn't say enough to say, right, let's go and win this bloody game. And Haaland obviously missing, in fact, threw probably the midfield out as well, because then Marmoush has got to move and then somebody else has got to move. So that probably didn't help in the build-up. And I don't think they fully knew that Haaland wasn't playing till the morning of the game by the sounds of what Pep said. So that probably threw a bit of a spanner in. But, yeah, you're right. And I don't think people are fit. Gundo's not got the legs anymore. Bernardo just looks like he's running on empty at times. I agree completely with the fitness. I've never known a team have so many injury and fitness problems over a season. We were just starting to get everyone back. We had 1 or 2 missing, then bang, 6 are out again. At one point, we had 11 out. I think we're averaging about 5 out every game. We're just going to have to try and see it through, get to the summer, and then shift a few or more than a few on. But yeah, agree with you with the midfield. I would rather they have just gone for it a little more. And if they get beat 4-5-6 and have gone all out and created chances, just got a bit unlucky, so be it. But to me, it just felt a bit spineless to me. They just didn't turn up.
No, I agree with you, Tone. Big up LB in the chat. Martin,
SSLB.
Do you agree with the lads? Do you think that midfield set alarm bells ringing? Obviously, the Erling Haaland thing was devastating. He scored 2 goals in the first leg. We've got Erling on the pitch. We've always got a chance. But we didn't lay a glove on Real Madrid for 80 minutes. We never had a shot. We didn't really put them under pressure. The wingers never roasted the fullbacks. We didn't have any moments where like the first leg where we put it on them a bit. And like Patrick said, I don't think Madrid's going to get an easier night than that. What's your take on it, mate?
I was actually okay with the 11 apart from Haaland. I think that 11 is different if Haaland's in it. I totally hear the Kovacic shouts 100%. The problem is I don't know what the plan was because the game was over 2 minutes in. That first goal killed it. It killed it dead. And you could see it was like, it's a big enough, you're going in at 1-0 down and you think, right, we got a chance. That goal goes in, you're chasing 2-0. And you've got, 90 minutes left to play. So it wouldn't, that 11 would have been all right. I was expecting the way we played against Newcastle, the way we played against Chelsea. But I think what's now evident is we can't do that without the big man up top.
Yeah.
Martin, can I just pick you up on one thing? We had about 86 minutes to score 2 goals. That's plenty of time. I mean, I know Real Madrid, but
I don't think the belief's there, Tom. Not in the Bernabeu. The Bernabeu does crazy stuff to your mind.
Yeah, it does, facts. That music does. That music,
absolutely.
Music alone just kills you.
I think.
Hearing that music, we've seen it, Steve. When you hear that music with 15 minutes to go, it gives you the fucking shits. Hearing that music with fucking 85 minutes.
Wait, is it that song they play when they score?
Yeah.
That song annoys the hell out of me. I hate that song.
But it will look if as players, as fans, it gives us nightmares, right? As a player. The minute you hear that music, because you know what's coming, you know the belief. And like I said, we've heard it with 10 minutes to go, Steve, and they scored 3 in that 10 minutes. To hear that with 85 minutes to go, I'm sorry, but as a player, it's killing you. It's absolutely, especially knowing you're already 3-2 down.
Pep's comments today are very telling. Today or yesterday about the not sort of going forward in this competition, like not having the belief. I don't think this season Pep, the players, probably the club, have the belief that they were going to go far in this. I think they genuinely believe that, you know what, we're not good enough this year. Yeah, that thing today, when I watched Pep's press conference today, that tells me a lot about the mentality going into Wednesday night. It really does. Because I think Pep's done. I think Pep, he looked angry and listened to the tone of it. He looked angry. He looked frustrated. He looked pissed off. He looked every single thing. And he's like, it's like, like Tone said, we're averaging 5 players a game out. You can't be going deep into these competitions with that situation. This squad has just aged out. And the sad thing is, it's aged out altogether. We made the Real Madrid situation so much easier. Kylian Mbappe must have had a field day because the way that first goal was scored was the way I thought we were going to play against him. That's what I thought we were going to do. But the one thing I will say...
He took the piss, Martin. They were laughing at our players. Josko nearly broke his ankles. He twisted him in half that much.
And the one thing I will say just quickly, no formation stops that goal.
No.
That is just a punt. It's a punt and a run. And when it's Diaz versus Mbappe, forget it. Mbappe versus anyone, forget it. Yeah, no formation stops that goal.
Can I just say as well, Khusanov was brilliant, by the way. And the coverage on TNT or Amazon, I can't remember, was absolutely disgusting. They hammered him for 90 minutes. All they kept saying was, he needs help. He needs support. He didn't. He did a bloody job.
We heard that in the stadium. People were texting back in the stadium to us saying, at least you haven't got to put up with TNT commentary. I mean, I've not watched it back, but I mean, he played well for a young lad. You know what I mean? We know what he's about. He's a very young lad. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's got a nice touch about him. He's very aggressive, and he's a rough diamond. And Pep Guardiola is going to work with him, and I believe he's going to turn him into a good player. But listen, it's not embarrassing for us to turn around on here as City fans and say we're not good enough and we didn't deserve to win. You know, we've had a great run the last few seasons, and we have. But I think what we do demand as City fans is a level of performance which they have made us accustomed to. In the early days of this Sheikh Mansour era, people were slagging City fans off, saying that you've got to change your mentality. It's not the same City anymore. We were all shitting it, thinking we're going to lose games, and they were saying that's because you've got PTSD from Division 2, which a lot of us have. But now, you know, sometimes looking at online, especially your Twitters and stuff like that, these fans, a lot of the younger ones, they're having like full-on meltdowns and that, and it's definitely not the way to go. I get you're angry about it. I get you're upset about it. I put a post out about Pep saying, listen, come on, we've got to back this guy. He's had one bad season in 9. You know what I mean? The trophies and the journeys we've all been on, you need to relax. He is entitled to make mistakes, and there is things that can happen in the season where you can't account for it. So all these jumping on his back. I'm going to mention the young lad coming out the stadium who said some horrible things about Bernardo. Listen, let's put it into context. He's a young lad at the football. I've seen him in the ground. He's not a bad lad. They're pissed up, yeah? And he's come out the away end fuming, by the way, and a Spanish cameraman's gone right up to his kite and stuck a fucking microphone in it and gone, what do you think about that? Now, a lot of us on here would have told him to F off or even look at
Steve.
Yeah, because you don't want that coming out the ground. The kid's obviously had a bit too much plasmia and said it. I get rival fans having a dig at him, and I get our own fans saying, who's this clown? I get it, because he probably feels like a clown. But I've seen witch hunts online trying to find out where he is and all that. What are you going to do, people? He's a young lad with an opinion. Let it go. We were shit. He said we were shit. Take it on the chin. Pep's not going to listen to him and think, oh, that lad coming out of the ground said, we need to kill Bernardo, so I'm going to kill him and I'm going to resign. Just take it on the chin. What we've got to do now is we've all got to be pulled together as close as we can. The Feyenoord game at home started this. We don't get Real Madrid if we win that game. Simple as that. We're not good enough for the Champions League. This could actually be a little bit of a blessing in disguise for Pep, where we've got to get that top 4. I feel like to miss out on that top 4, lads, would be an absolute nightmare. And I feel like, you know, we've got to. We're not good enough. We know that. We know there's going to be 5 or 6 more players coming in the summer, etc. A player I wanted to talk about, I'll start with Patrick. John Stones. As soon as you've seen Stones pull up again, you're like, you know what? We love John Stones. He's the king of the North, man. You know what I mean? We all love him. But when does the time come where we think, you know what? As a football club, do we need someone more reliable? Patrick, because Stones, he seems to play one game and then he's out for 2. You know what I mean? It's not good.
I said it before. I don't know if I was with Daffs, but I said it. Yeah, I said there's certain players in this team that have to go, and a lot of people don't want that conversation because there's attachments. I had a conversation with somebody in my DMs. He said 2 days ago, who told me that whether I like it or not, even if there was a storm or something, there's no way they're letting go of a certain player. That's when I knew that some people. So I asked them, is it football or attachment? John Stones doesn't have to be here anymore, and it's unfortunate to say that because the guy is very good, and that's the thing about it. He's very good, but how many times are you just going to rely on somebody coming in for 3 games? And the thing about football is, it is what it is. When you get injured, it's also business, and it just has to be ruthless. We have to win games. So for Stones, I think even if they were ruthless enough, I think summer they should have been looking to sending him, because if you look at his record, somebody posted his record, and I was like, I didn't know it was this bad. He hasn't played 20 or whatever games. In other seasons, he just played less games. He came in, obviously, like our knight in shining armor at the end of the games, looked good. But Steve, right now in summer, his name, believe it or not, has to also be number 1. Apart, like Gundogan, I know he's the one who's getting the stick saying, oh, he's first out of the door. Like, he has to be, because I think Martin is right. I saw that statement by Pep, and that I think is for John Stones also. He said, there's players here who can't survive at all. And the real thing is, we're going to have to sit down with the agents, doctors, and the players and see how we move forward. That's just a shot to John Stones. Maybe that's where Khusanov and Victor was brought in. And that might also, by the way, Steve, that might also go for Ake. people still say Ake can still stay. No, he also gets injured a lot. So for me, I think John Stones, it's just goodbye. He's one of the best I've ever seen. To be honest with you, that first leg against Madrid showed us what quality he has.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure right now it's time to start finding somebody else instead of saying, oh, whenever John Stones comes back, he plays as a DM or he does this for us. Look, we can't rely on him. Do you remember Vincent Kompany?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Vincent Kompany used to break everybody's heart. I remember he came in the Madrid game and I was like, Madrid, now Vincent Kompany is back. You guys will suffer. Within 2 minutes, he went down to the floor and then Mangala had to come in, who, by the way, did their own goal. So I think Stones, it's time to go. And there's another player I'm going to mention later on, but I want to pass it over. The other player I'm going to mention, I know the chat is going to go crazy because that player, you can't touch him in this club, no matter.
Save it then, save it. Tone.
Controversial.
Steve, no, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Tone. Oh, no, I was going to say super chats, but we'll come back to it. We'll stick on Stones.
We'll do him in a minute. Big up Oliver Vernon, who's watching. Big up Oliver. Good to see you, mate. Tone, same thing. I'm just going to ask you loosely about the Stone situation. I mean, we love him and you never want to see anyone go. We wish he could play forever, but it's so frustrating. And it must be for Pep when he thinks, right, this is my side. I'm settled. Let's get a foothold in the game and bang, injury. And then he's got to change it again. You know what I mean? Nathan Ake did not look happy with coming on. He was getting energy drinks down him and gels and that. And I thought, he's clearly not ready to play, man. But he's going to fight, do it for the cause. What do you think?
Yeah, no, completely agree. And everything Patrick said, John Stones is one of my favourite players. I love him. He'll always be remembered at City without any shadow of a doubt. One of our best players. When he is fit, he is as good as any centre-back in world football. I stand by that. He's arguably our best, maybe with Diaz. But I think he will see out the final year of his contract just because I don't see who's going to pay for him. I can't see who is going to pay even, me and LB and Martin had this chat earlier, 10, 15 million, but who's going to pay it? Even if it's taking a risk and so on, you still got to pay his 250, 300 a week. So it's a huge outlay for someone that, the guy's averaging 18 games a season or something in the Premier League. And I love him to bits. He's so good, but he can't be relied upon. And the biggest problem City have is it's not just him. We've now got Ake, like you mentioned there, Ake, who apparently after the game Wednesday was limping a little as well. So he's not quite on it. So we've got him. We've got Diaz, who's seems to be suddenly injury prone as well. And then you've got, Kanji, who's now suddenly injury prone out for ages. And it's just bloody madness. So this is why they've obviously brought the two new young lads in at the back, as Patrick mentioned. But for Stones, if we can get rid, I would move him on, sadly, but I don't see him going for those reasons I said.
I don't see him going. I think, look, I think Martin's right. What Martin just put in the comments about we're not going to sell 15 players. I think that we've been having these comments, obviously, as we always do, Stephen, kind of around Plaza Mayor or wherever we are. And that's the way I feel that there'll be a list of players and, everyone in the comments will give a massive long list of players they want to go. We can't shift 8 players and bring 8 new
and then
players
bring
in.
15 in.
It doesn't work like that.
15 in.
And if I'm being honest with you, this is a hard thing that we're talking John Stones. You're right. And I've been saying this for years. You generally win leagues by having a consistent defence, right? And that's one of our issues we've had. It's not consistent at all. And John Stones doesn't help that. However, the one thing we probably also would say is when John Stones comes in, he always puts in a good performance, right? Am I right? Really and truly? Even if he's been injured, when he comes back, he puts in a good performance. Now, some of the players we're looking at the moment, yes, they're available a lot more, but they're also not putting in too many good performances. So I think probably Tone's right. If the contract was up this summer, Stones would go. I think we'll keep Stones for one more year because of the fact that we pretty much have to. At least with him, we do know, even if we only do get 10 games out of him, they're going to be 10 good performances.
Are you sure? 100%? Because what I'm looking at Pep's comments. Like when that comment by Pep about injured players,
No, I hear it, but Pep doesn't do the math.
Jack Grealish and Stones seem to be shining on that.
No, I hear you, but ultimately, Pep's job is not necessarily to know people's contracts, how much it's going to cost. That's not his job. So Pep might be frustrated at John Stones, but the board will go, look, for us to get rid of him, we're going to have to pay him for an extra year because of the salary. He's not going to go.
He's on 3K, isn't it? 3K. Is he on 3K?
Yeah, he's on 3. He signed 300K a week. I think he is.
Stones 250, Grealish 3.
Yeah, so I don't think Stones will go for that reason and that reason alone. But I also do think Tone's right as well. That's why we went and got Vitor Hayes, and that's why we went and got Khusanov.
Don't get me started on my homegrown subject.
Oh, no, not again.
You just
what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about Stones, Martin? I mean, is it time to go? If there's anybody else you want to add to this list now, we might as well talk about Connie, and then see where you go.
Get pen and paper. Should we go? The thing is, listen, for John Stones, yes, I do think he should go 100%. It's whether you get a buyer. Who's going to buy him for 10, 12 games a season?
Yeah.
It's not the selling part, it's the who to part. Now, if you get a promoted club or a Newcastle, for example, Megs, I know Newcastle were looking, maybe they take a gamble and we let any has take a wage cut. I don't know. Our job is we can sit here and we can go, we want that guy out, this guy out, that guy out. Unless they're on a free, we need a buyer. We need a buyer. This is the other side of the coin, and not everyone is going to do that. Jack Grealish is not going to have a list of clubs coming after him. Not on 300k a week.
Would City not give John Stones a free transfer though, as a mark of respect, because you think he's earned?
Are they going to do that with him and Gundo and Walker?
No, I swear Gundo signed a year, didn't he? Didn't Gundo sign?
He's got an auto thing.
That's due to go through this month as well, isn't it? I think.
God, I see people saying let him go, let go Saudi. But look, if Saudi get any,
buying old players, Saudi are not buying the old players
even
anymore.
if they do, I'm not being funny. The slander that would be thrown on our club if any of these players end up going Saudi, we're all going to get. Well, we know why that's happening.
If you look at Saudi, Saudi are not doing the 35-year-olds anymore. They're buying the younger people like Duran and all them. That's where the big money's going.
Do you not think John Stones could be used as a make weight with someone if we're going for a young centre half? Say we went to Everton and went for Branthwaite and said,
Everton would take him. I think so.
I wouldn't want Branthwaite. I think Branthwaite's got injury issues. The guy I'd want is Matt Gay. I think you could use him in a Palace deal, maybe.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know if he'd be good enough, I'll be honest.
Yeah, me too. I don't think so. I don't think he is.
But why would Palace want John Stones when he can't play?
Palace take everyone. They take everyone.
Because Matt Gay's in the last year of his contract and it doesn't look like he's going to sign a new one. So they've got to sell him this summer or they'll let him go for free.
Oh, yeah.
I think, look, ultimately, the amount we're paying John Stones, we're paying John Stones what? A fully fit John Stones is worth.
And I'm going to say it again, you're going to need homegrown. You're going to need one or two homegrown players to come in the door because you cannot allow McAtee, Stones, Grealish, Walker, etc. all out.
It's like Carson gets an extension.
Carson's likely to retire. I mean, people are talking, the amount of midfielders, people are talking Bernardo, Kovacic, Nunes, Grealish, Gundogan, KDB. Are we going to sell every midfielder in the club? And
this is why the mad thing is, I said the other week that, again, however it looks like Grealish's time is up, again, when Grealish does play, right, he generally has looked all right.
I would keep him.
But the confusing bit is that Pep probably won't play him. So it's kind of like, I don't know what the answer is. I think that's where we're in a bad situation.
Can I throw one idea? You may like it, because I do like what Steve said, which is what I was thinking the other day. Maybe you do a Grealish and look at a Morgan Rogers and involve it somewhere with that. So you're getting a sort of similar player, but younger, hungrier.
Oh, no, not
maybe do something like that. Maybe that's the way we get around the Grealish situation. Kovacic and Nunes, again, I think Kovacic you could sell for money. Gundo will need to be on his terms. We might need 2 or 3 goalies yet.
Actually,
we don't know where we're at with Edison. We don't know where we're at with Ortega, and Carson's probably going to retire.
Sorry, on the Gundogan one, I've just realised, I don't know if Gundogan is a year or 2 year contract, but I do remember seeing that Is it Fenerbahce or Galatasaray that are really interested in Gundogan? So we wouldn't get much for him, but there is room for Gundogan to go somewhere like that.
Yeah, but it's he's got a clause where he plays certain games and it activates, and somebody was telling me it's getting closer.
It is. It's this month. I think he needs to play like 3 more or something.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean he won't go, though. Just because it gets renewed doesn't mean he's definitely staying. It just means it's been renewed and they might just cash in. And it might help City in one way because it means they've got him under contract and they can then get a fee for him instead of him walking for free at the end. So maybe City are let him play 61% of games and then try and sell him for 10 mil in the summer.
I have a thing about the midfielders, and I think other people are not accepting when I say this, but I don't know. When people are putting Jack Grealish at the top of this list, or they're putting Nunes and Kovacic, I think that's a mistake. I think those guys are at the bottom of the list. Those are the guys you start considering as a squad players. Because I think what people are hiding from is the truth. As I said, I'm going to mention a guy who I think has to be on this boat. That's KDB. KDB has to be walking out of the door of whoever walks in. And a lot of people keep saying, give him 2 years. I love him. I love him is what I'm getting. So, Martin, I haven't got anybody give me a football reason. It's I love KDB. The love part. And I told people 2 seasons ago, I was like, one day we're going to sit here. And the fact that we all love KDB, will be shocked by the fact that why is KDB's through ball not going through? Why is he not doing this? It's just father time. He's going to turn 34 years old, so you want him to be on a 2-year contract. That's 34, 35. Isn't KDB one of the most paid players at the club? 400K or something.
He is.
So you think we give him a 2-year? I say get him out now. I say even if...
Sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, because the issue is people are like, oh, even if Wirtz comes in, Wirtz is not even half the player he is. I'm telling you, the City fans, if there was an option to get Odegaard, I'm getting Odegaard from Arsenal in 2025 over KDB. Not the fact that Odegaard is KDB. It's just KDB father time has reached him and he can't be what we're looking for. And football has changed. It's about youngsters. Even Pep said in the press today, oh, the issue we're having is the other players are just faster, more physical. They seem more hungry and more athletic. And
well, the thing is that with KDB, you're spot on. The frustrating thing for me as well is that the blueprint that we should be following as a football club, we fucking created, right? And that's my frustration. That if you look at, Kun Aguero is a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Aguero wanted a contract extension, and the club said, look, you haven't played many games this season. We'll give you a pay-as-you-play, right? And I want a contract extension. And City said, you know what? Spread your wings and fly. Go and get one last payday. And it's not just, I've just used him as an example. We could list one player pretty much every single season. We let a legend go on a free
Look at David Silva. Remember Pep said, I made a joke that your legs gone. Silva is an
Fernandinho. We can keep listing them. And every single one of these, the one thing we can say is we've got fond memories of them. They left, they're still involved, they come back to the club. They are known for supporting Manchester City. Where I am right now, I'm worried that players like Bernardo, players like Gundogan will be leaving this football club and leaving our fan base with a sour taste in their mouth towards us, right? And if we look at De Bruyne, it is all just based on not even last season, it's based on the season before. He's been one of our worst players this season, right? And you're spot on. Now it looks like his passing is being forced, his shooting is being forced. Now, here's the key. This weekend we have Liverpool. We'll move on to it in a minute. De Bruyne has not played the last 2 games at least. So we should have a re-energized Kevin De Bruyne. This is a perfect marker. Let's see if he can change games like he used to.
Well, I feel on the De Bruyne issue, sorry, mate, we got to realise that if he was going for a title this season, he would have let us down massively because we can't rely on him. You know what I mean? So it's fortunate for him probably that we aren't, and he is being rested for 2 or 3 games. I think we all know that the end of the road is for Kevin. He's now. I feel like City do need to replace him. Odegaard, for me, it's not going to happen. I don't rate him like that. I would rather have Wirtz or someone to come in, and I think City will go down that route. They'll get someone younger. But with Kevin, I know I can tell it's hard on these shows when we're all City fans when we have to talk about letting players go, because it's a very fine line between you basically admitting that the player's not good enough and people thinking that after everything he's done, and you're saying this. No, we're just trying to be realistic and say that we know at the end is near. When you see a player, it happened with Yaya Toure. When you see a player of Yaya Toure's ilk go from running 30, 40 yards with the ball to falling down and getting caught off these average players. When you see Kyle Walker getting roasted off Timo Werner and people like that, then that's when you, with your own eyes, are telling you that it's a natural thing in football.
Yeah.
These people, it's sad, and you don't want to embarrass yourself. I think if Kevin leaves at the end of the season, he leaves as our greatest ever player. You know what I mean? And I feel like in 10 years' time, the Premier League will be talking about Kevin De Bruyne as one of the best. But now is the time where the people behind the scenes have got to identify the next Kevin De Bruyne. We've got Echeverri coming in from Argentina. He had a great tournament. He's going to be in the mix somewhere. But this is going to be one of the most important summers in Manchester City's recent football history because we made mistakes. Usually it's a couple of signings and we're relaxed and we go again. Now it's like, shit, we don't know what's going to happen. Pep's signed a 2-year deal. He's not looking the best. The fans are all ripply and wondering what's going on. Then even if we do go out and do a madness and bring in 5 or 6 players, you've got that problem in the back of your mind where you think, are the 5 or 6 players going to gel? Are they going to be able to fit in the system? You look at Chelsea, their fans demanding transfers, buy. Doesn't work, people. That's why Pep says, you know, a sign of a good football club is one that only has to make 1 or 2 tweaks a season, not 6, 7, 8 changes.
Like we got
this January transfer window we just had was a sign to me that we were panicking a bit. You know
Steve,
what I mean? Man City go out in January and spend 200 million. It's mad.
Steve, we've diverted from what the blueprint is. Again, when we won the league with Mancini, the season after we spent badly, we bought a load of squad players. The summer we won the league with Pellegrini, same thing. Khaldoon came out the season after the end of the season, we did 100 points. He came out and said himself, we've learned from the previous 2 times where we bought squad players. This time we have to go because every other team's improving. We have to stay. We have to improve as well. And we haven't. That's the truth. But should we do the super chats quickly?
Yeah, sorry, Dad. I was just very quickly on the KDB. You know what tells it for me?
Daps, you need to get some mods in there, man. Chat's full of red.
Mods. It's one person. It's one
person with about 18 accounts.
I keep whacking him into a timeout. Mods, can you get on that and just keep? I am. I keep blocking, but these bots, they make accounts at space.
Accounts?
Yeah,
is it like lots of different.
I think so.
I'm sorry, Martin. Can I say?
The other was going to try and KDB is we're now at a stage where we used to say KDB with his experience and his ability, rest him and save him for the big games. We're now not even using him for the big games.
Yeah.
But that's because
to me that just says everything we need
Martin,
to know.
That's the key. Yeah, see, he's back again. I just banned him. He's created another account. Martin, but this is the issue that last season, and this is where I think this weekend's a great way to work out where it is with KDB, because last season he looked good when he came back from fitness, but then we ran him into the ground and then he didn't look good against Liverpool.
I think we know where we're at with him.
But he didn't look good against Liverpool or Arsenal. Wasn't a game changer, but that's because he'd been ran into the ground. This weekend, he has not played the last 2 games, right? So this shows us if he has a sick game against Liverpool after probably a week and a half rest, we now know, right, KDB can be important, but he can't be important every week.
If he plays.
That scares me. That scares me a bit because you just said spot on what he comes in, plays well, wins you the game. Then everyone's going to crave onto the contract again.
True.
Yeah, give him the contract. Yeah. That is making the same mistakes we've done. Sentimentality has to come out of the window here.
Yeah, but sentimentality will go out the window because the absolute key thing here is Viana's coming and Chicky's going. And I respect Chicky for what he's done. I'm not saying, I'm glad he's gone, but it seems the perfect time. We're about to hit a new era. There's probably a better word for it than that. But Viana is coming in. He's got no ties to these players. He's got no, like Chicky has here, but oh shit, do we really want to get rid of him? Viana's here, and we'll go, right. Well, hopefully he will. Obviously, I don't know the guy. But he'll look at Bernardo, Gundo, KDB and go, nope, these aren't ready for the next bit. Viana's got an enormous job on his hands. Huge job. and he'll want to make an impression, and he'll want to stamp his authority on it and say, I've got no ties to these players. Kev, you're not the level now. If this is what the conversation will be, you're out. And we get the new Verts or whoever comes in the door.
Can we do some super? Can we do some super
people, there is nearly 750 of you in here. Likes are at 289. We can get that higher. Let's get the likes up to at least 350. Please.
Come on,
please.
listen. Let's just stop a minute. 750 watching, 250 likes. It's not.
Yeah.
It ain't good. That it
Not
takes
massive.
a second. Just like the stream, it helps us out. You know what I mean? It's Friday night. I know some of you are in the kitchen. You've got a few cans. Some have got the coffee going. The Indians on the way. You know what I mean? We're all chilling out. Hit the like button, man.
I have
Help
one,
us
by
out.
the way. I did get one last
Help
night,
the
Steve,
best
as soon as I
spaghetti.
was home. Had to have an
What,
Indian.
Martin? Just well off topic. What have you had for your tea?
I've had chicken Caesar salad.
Oh,
Listen, I'm not being funny. There's no way on planet fucking Earth you've had Caesar salad for your tea after.
I'm on a
what you've been
diet.
eating.
No, I'm not. I'm on a major diet. I'm on a lifestyle.
You've had
Did you have a bit
spaghetti and Caesar salad. Is that what you're telling me? Spaghetti and Caesar salad?
No, I'm actually genuinely on a proper diet.
bit of
Fair play
parmesan
to
on
you,
the
mate.
top?
Fair play
Yeah,
to you.
it
You're
must
looking
be.
well
No,
anyway, mate.
I'll be honest. I went to the doctors and I got told I had a bit of bad news last week, so lifestyle change.
Fair play.
Good
Fair
lad.
play.
Good lad.
Right, first super chat. This one's from Omar. He says, thank you, firstly. It says, Pep is to blame. Wrong lineup, as usual, this season. Can I just say one thing on that? And it's towards this, but it's also towards some people in the chat. Devious Ducky, I really appreciate you being here every single stream, and your comments are great. So don't take this personally. But you weren't about when we beat Newcastle 4-0, right? And this does seem to be a bit of a thing that we can say right now, same as usual this season. But we weren't saying that. We have to put some sort of perspective on this. We're fourth, right? We are fourth. Now, there's teams whose managers are getting it wrong week in, week out across the other side of town, right? So we can't say Pep is getting it wrong week in, week out. He has made some mistakes, 100%, but it's not week in, week out. Otherwise, we wouldn't be beating Newcastle.
This is my thing. Sorry, I'm jumping, but this is what's really getting me. Is if Pep was doing this and we had two players who are really off it, I get it. The trouble is there are 6, 7, 8 players come to the end. We've got 3, 4, 5 players injured. Nothing Pep does is going to change this year. This is my point. I accepted that weeks ago. People can do it how they want, but nothing is going to change. There is no formation that is going to change these players around. They are just done. As much that they have been legends, and we have to let them go out with the respect that they deserve, not the way we sent Kyle Walker out.
Yeah,
but
it's not good.
It is not going to change. This is a patient game where we have to just get to the end game, and the end game is a rebuild.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
I think I want to focus on that in a minute, the rebuild side of things. I haven't got the player. Thank you to LB as well, who's saying we haven't got the players to play the player stupid high line. I think that's fair as well. He also then said the formation doesn't, Martin, but that high line. Yeah, he was talking about we shouldn't have been playing.
That high line doesn't stop that goal. That goal, Mbappe's rapid.
Yeah, good. Next one is from Haju Sabu. Apologies if I haven't pronounced that right. I think I have. In order to get grip on Real Madrid, need to contain possession in middle. Totally get Pep came with that lineup, but players don't have the energy anymore. You can't go up and down with injury. We had 2 centre-backs out. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I think Pep's hands were tired. I think, like I saw people tweeting about why is he not starting Haaland? Well, Haaland wasn't fit. So, good comment. LB's back again with another one.
Divine Newcastle
need to call it.
Right. The 17, they're not coming up next year. 17.
And this is the thing with that if we were to start, say, people say McAtee needs to start more, these players. If we started some of these players against Madrid, the whole fan base would be in an absolute meltdown. Absolute meltdown. Now, again, we've got Liverpool at the weekend. We're saying call these 2 players up for Liverpool. After Liverpool, we've got Tottenham away. Are we saying call these 2 players up for Tottenham away? After Tottenham away, we've got Forest away.
They're miles off it, them lads at the minute. They're not miles off it, but if they're going to play at any time, it'll be Plymouth at home if we're depleted. But, you know, we've got to move on to
last one. Just Sumo Dog saying, Daps put the chat on 24 hours subscribers. I'll do that now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but 24-hour subscribers, that means that someone's got, you can't just watch the show, innit? New City fans.
No, they can watch it, they just can't comment. Just keep blocking. I'll put it on 5 minutes and see how that works. I'll put it on 5 minutes. It's a good show.
You've got to be one sad bloke to be coming on a Man City channel and doing stuff like that. But hey ho, we see it all the time.
He's a red. He probably is sad.
Liverpool at home this weekend. Just let me have me 2 pence worth on Liverpool. I feel like I went on the Big Six show last week and I told the Arsenal fans that they needed to believe a bit more. They were 7 points behind. You know, you've got to get behind your team in the stadium. I got absolutely ripped apart by the Arsenal fans. You don't know our injuries with the league's done, etc., etc., etc. Roll on a week. Yeah. Apparently they're believing again. You know what I mean? They're all back in the title race, which I did tell you. I'm telling you now, if this Liverpool team had Manchester City of old chasing them, that 5-point gap would be nothing. We'd be coming for them and we'd all be cranking it up and we know what would be coming. This game now, we could have a major say in the title race. Liverpool have been fantastic this season. Arne Slot, of what he's done, has been brilliant. I feel like they are starting to shake a little bit. You know, the results tell you that they are. They're still picking up points, which is a good sign, but they're dropping a couple here and there. With the way we played against Newcastle, which was fantastic, by the way, I feel like we've got a great chance of getting something against Liverpool. But I also feel like the players owe us something for that Real Madrid performance, where I feel like Pep has got it into him this week. There's no better bounce back than to go and beat top of the league. You know, we've had it done to us many a time. We've gone to grounds thinking we're going to waltz away with it, and we've come unstuck. So, I mean, Patrick, Liverpool at home, tough game. We just got to go out there and go for it, haven't we? We need the points.
Yeah, looking at Liverpool this season, they haven't actually been as perfect as many have said. You know, if you look at them, there's few opportunities where teams have had opportunities to actually beat them. I think Bournemouth was one of the teams that I was like, maybe if they had their shooting shoes on, they could have won. That's the thing. I have a feeling that this is not going to be as bad as people think, especially this Liverpool City. But it also depends on how we're going to approach the game, because if we approach it as Martin said, same way as everybody said on the panel, that let's approach it as if we're just going direct, the way we've been doing against Chelsea. With that Liverpool high line, we can get a bit of joy with Marmoush or Haaland if they play. But I think if we decide to play Liverpool and go with we keep the ball, this and that, it's going to be very difficult for us. Because if you look at this season, right, Liverpool doesn't press. I don't know if any of you know this. They don't press anymore. They just sit there, wait for you, and look for mistakes in certain areas, and then they go and counter you or attack. So they don't do the pressing anymore. Even if you see the amount of distance they run, they don't run the big distance anymore like the club team. They just sit back and just watch you with the ball, and then they just pick the moments, get the ball from you. So I just hope we just go for it. I just hope he just gets the breaks off, like the same way he did with the Chelsea game, where the game before we were, obviously it was the Madrid one, people were complaining, and then against Chelsea just went direct. I think Liverpool will be very shocked if they see us go direct, because I don't think that's what they're expecting from us. And you're right. The players are looking at this game and saying, look, we just got rolled over by Madrid with a bit of pride. We're not going to get rolled over at home with Liverpool. I think they just want to stop something, and I hope they are, because I have this feeling, I don't know if it's just me, I have this feeling, I don't know about how you guys feel with the fans. I have this feeling that if there's a bad performance at the Liverpool, we might see that Spurs thing, even though people claim that Bruyne was for the ref. We might see the Spurs thing where, remember the Bulls where it happened once. I remember I watched once when the Bulls happened. I think the fans are so stressed, they might actually show frustration if maybe we allow Liverpool just to roll us over like that, which is possible, to be honest. It depends how we play. Liverpool are capable, but also looking at that Liverpool midfield, Szoboszlai looks like he's tired. McAllister looks tired. Ryan looks like he's been overrun to the floor because he doesn't get benched. So City can actually have the opportunity here with just rotation. That's why I'm saying, even if KDB comes into this game, just tell him go direct. And I think that's what KDB is meant for. So I'm not looking. I'm looking at a game where I'm like, Pep, just let the bricks off. What else do we have? There's an FA Cup. Champions League is gone, so he can't overthink anymore with that. He said this himself in the press. We don't have to play every 3 days now. we can rest, but obviously we're playing on Wednesday, unfortunately. But he says we can rest now and plan things more. So just go. I think these last games of these games where we're playing Spurs, we're playing Forest, we're playing Liverpool. Just go at them. Just go straight at them and see how it goes.
Sorry, can I just jump in here? This is my view on this, and this is what I wanted to. When someone said about the rebuild, in fact, there's a comment. I'll put it up a super chat saying, "Hold tight, Gilmore tees. Everyone, go and check out Gilmore tees if you want to get some customized tees. This is simply our rest season. We definitely need to stop playing out from the back, and when we're up against it, against teams like Real Madrid, great stream." This is where I am a bit. I'll be honest with you. I think I was probably one of the ones that was really vocal about it. It's frustrating me how we became so obsessed with this Real Madrid game, the home and away game. And maybe it was negative of me, a bit pessimistic, that I felt it was one step too far and we should just focus on the league, because it does seem like a lot of our energy was put towards it. I feel like a weight has been taken off our shoulders now, because if we would have beat Real Madrid, the fan base, a lot of our fan base's expectations and focus would go straight back on the next game against Atletico Madrid, right? And it could take our focus away. And the truth is, we are in a rebuild, right? There's no getting away from the fact we're in a rebuild. We've been blessed with the fact that we've got 3-4 months with some new players before next season to start to embed them. And I feel like that's how we need to go into this game now. That, like, and this is where I'll be honest with you, the Bernardo Gundo thing, I don't want to see it no more. And, you know, Steve, we've spoke on this. It's hurting me seeing these players being treated the way they're being treated. As long as Pep keeps putting them in the firing line, it's going to continue. Now, I think we've just got to go out with the younger lot now. I think we've got
I don't
to just...
think the people in the stadium are treating any of the players
No,
different.
not the game goals.
The fans in the ground are right behind them. I mean, Tone, Liverpool... some would say it's an ideal game to bounce back against, and some people would be shitting it. Depends which side of the fence you're on. I'm thinking, fucking hell, we don't need Liverpool at home. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the game, and that's not me weird main road mentality kicking in. I'm actually, after the Newcastle one at home, I think we're a different animal at home. I feel like we've got a bit of a chance to go at them, and I feel like if we could get something against Liverpool, I think, you know, it'd give us a little bit of belief to push on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, great. Yes, I think it's the perfect opposition. We want to play the best team in the league, because that means these players have to turn up like they're the best players in the league to beat this team. We don't want to be having one of the bottom teams at home, although it would be nice, but that's the sort of game that you can further damage you and you slip on. City have to step this up now. These players owe the fans, that, especially the ones that travelled out to that game, and they owe it to themselves and to the manager, to be quite frank, to pull the bloody socks up, start working, and go and show that they've still got it. No excuses around the fitness and injuries. We know all this now, and we hear after every game, the amount of times I've heard Ruben Diaz and Pep saying, we've just got to accept it. Well, no, you don't. You learn from it and then do right the next game. Stop pissing around saying, oh, we just accept that we lost. Don't accept you lost. Get in the training, work harder, get on that pitch against Liverpool, the current best team in the league, and go and show them who the champions actually are right now, which is us. And I think we will beat them, and I think we will turn up. I said we'd beat Real Madrid, and I know I'm deluded, all right, but I think we will turn up. Yeah, and I think we will win. And I think I've got a funny feeling I think we could give them a bit of a tanning, to be honest. And I know if we lose, people are going to be on my case about it. But that's just my opinion, because I believe in this team, Pep, and most of the players. And if Pep, please don't put Bernardo on the right, and please don't go with a midfield free of Kovacic or Bernardo and Gundo. Go for it. You've got nothing to lose. And if we finish top 4 or top 5 maybe this season, and the FA Cup, that to me is a really good season for a team that is in transition.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to put a bit of perspective on it. The mad thing is, Steve, remember, I do understand that we were challenging for the league that season. We actually won the league that season. But I was actually thinking last night, when we came back from the Bernabeu, when we got beat 3-1, what was it, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I think it was. It wasn't a meltdown like this. And the meltdown is we just in our worst season, we were outside of the top 5 until literally 10 days ago, I think, right? We got beat at the Bernabeu by Real Madrid 3-1, right? if that puts it into perspective, I don't know what does, because we lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League. Everyone knows Real Madrid, when it gets into knockout games, are a different monster. We've got to remember, a week ago, we beat Newcastle. Everyone was saying that in form in the Premier League, we beat 4-0, right? So it's not as bad. It's not.
There's one thing I just need to say. Yeah. All you Manchester City fans out there, you could be the biggest club in the world and be 15th in the Premier League. You could also be £700 million in debt and owe 300 million in transfers. You could also have some scruffy bastard who's pretending he's got your best interests at heart running your club. And then behind the scruffy bastard, you could have 4 Americans who are draining £18.9 million dividends out of the club every other month. So it might seem like it's a bad situation, but let me tell you this. I said it to a guy in the toilet at the Bernabeu. Did we back Alan Ball? Yes. Did we back Frank Clark? Yes. Did we back Steve Hoppel? Yes. So we're fucking definitely backing Pep Joseph Guardiola. Martin, over to you.
I'm just wondering, you did what in the toilet? But never mind.
It was no George Michael theme, but we was having a bit of a chat about what was going on the pitch. It wasn't good.
You want to talk about Alan Ball in the toilet, but hey.
What about Frank
How
Clark?
do you, mate?
I've talked worse in the toilet. Let me tell you that. I was pissed.
Done worse, I heard.
No, Liverpool for me. Listen, I'm going to say a bit on Pep in a minute. I said it last night. The thing on Sunday is, for us to play the way we need to play now, we need the big man fit. Now, obviously, we've said we don't know till tomorrow. If he's fit, we can go with this long ball, quick, decisive, and play it. Because I'm telling you, Trent and Robertson can be got at. Let's play the quick, direct wingers. And let's go for it. And if we're going to make it a basketball game, Just go for it. I don't want to see this slow, pedantic 500 passes in the middle anymore. We're not going to go anywhere with it. That's done. Football has evolved. Pep's talked about that. But the thing on the Pep stuff is I've always said this, we will never appreciate what Pep Guardiola has done for this team until he's gone. And people can bitch, complain, moan and everything else about him wanting him sacked. The board are not going to sack him. So you need to move on from that. Pep leaves one way. He hands his own resignation in. He isn't going to do that. Pep said he's going to change football, but he can't do it with the squad of players he's got. This is a half-built house. We need to renovate the rest.
So, and Mark, just on that one, I think you're spot on with that. And even when Steve was listing the players that we've backed, the managers we backed in the worst of situations, right? Even if we go to Pep, we have to remind everyone, first season, Pep got told by so many people, you're being ignorant, you can't bring your style of football here. And he didn't have the right resources, right? He got given the right resources. The next season, we got 100 points. It's as simple as that we have seen, again, this same thing happen with Pep. We backed him first season. Why? Because we said, we want a world-class manager. Let's back him, give a bit of time. Now, for me personally, I'm not even entertaining these Pep out conversations. Now, if he gets given the exact players he needs in the summer, and next season we're still having an absolute stinker,
then it's a different combo.
It's a different conversation.
Then it's a different combo.
But right now, this is the exact same thing. We had who do we have? Kolarov on the left, Sagna, Zabaleta,
Sanya,
fullbacks.
Kolarov.
We did a quick change. Edison came in, Walker came in, Bernardo Silva came in. Hey presto, all of a sudden we're getting 100 points, right? So I think people just need to give it. I'm not saying it can never be, it's time for Pep to go. By the way, it will never be Pep fuck off, but it will never be that. But it could be a conversation, but not right now.
And it's not Pep FC. I need to make this clear. A lot of people are thinking it's Pep FC, and because I understand what people are saying. People are saying it's Manchester City FC, not Pep FC. Trust me, we know that. But what you have to remember is, and this was something I got last night. Well, Wenger was a legend at Arsenal, and they sacked him. I get that. It did nearly 20 years though, and obviously Verga. The difference is Manchester City was a massive football club in our eyes. Pep is the first guy to take us to the Real Madrid level.
Yeah.
We are now, and kid me not, yes, we've just been slapped twice, but Real Madrid respect us and do not really want to play us again next year because they know what's coming because of Pep and the board and everything else. This is not about being Pep FC. This is about respecting what the guy's done. He has done and broke more records than UK top 40, Queen, Beatles, you name them, in world football, everywhere. He's broke more records than everyone.
Yeah, there is also, this is where people get this muddled up, is the Pep out brigade. If you say he absolutely shouldn't go, oh, you can't criticise Pep. No. We all criticise. We've done it on this show. Yeah. We've had little digs about the lineup, little digs about some maybe things that he's done wrong or said wrong. Nobody is saying that, but we will. Sorry to talk for everyone here, but the people who want him in will back him because of what he's won. I mean, for Christ's sake, 18 months ago, whatever, we completed football. We literally won that. I think it was that long, whenever it was recent. We literally owned the world football. Manchester City were on top of the planet, and we're the current Premier League champions. We're still in the FA Cup. We can still go qualify for Champions League. It is insanity to me that, and everyone's entitled to their view, that anyone would seriously want Pep to go. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Do you know the problem is as well when people say about oh, but you know, he needs to be bought players, he should be able to coach and all of that, right? I understand it. Pep has got where he's got. He's earned the right to be given a bit of dough when he needs it. Now, if we're saying we want to bring in young players, we want to coach them up, the biggest worry to me is that we start to go down a model like Chelsea Football Club. That what will happen is we'll get rid of Pep, we'll bring in a manager that apparently is really good at coaching players. That will not change the expectations of this football club. We've just done a treble and a four-peat, right? If we bring in a great coach, he's not going to turn it around in 6 months. He's not going to turn it around in a year. Next minute, same people that called for Pep out will be calling for that manager out. And hey, presto, we're Chelsea FC. We can't do it. We've got a great manager. We have to stick with him.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask something? Is there somebody who, like the Pep out? Have you seen anyone who's actually creditable serious? I think they're just both. They're just like kids who came from. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying maybe it's not even kids. I think majority of the people, when I look at the Pep out, I don't even take them seriously. I usually click on that Twitter and say, read what they post. I'm like, nah, I'm not taking you seriously. I just feel like people are reactionary. I think there's a difference, as you have said, that where you question the manager. Like I have questioned the manager this season because I'm like, Pep, what's going to happen, especially when they bought players for you in it's just my fear, maybe even because I love Pep that much, I'm trying to defend him. I'm like, my fear is, Pep, now people are going to say they bought you people in January and they're still flopping it and just still playing the same players.
Why? If you say to them, you don't want Pep, who do you want?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't take them seriously because most of these you find they've got 7 followers and they follow 2 people, and they all 2 followers and follow 7 people.
Vinny Company is a legend, but he's not ready to be the City.
No, he's not ready. Bayern fans want him out.
Listen, you've got to be careful what you wish for in football because we've seen it over many years when football clubs have been high. Charlton Athletic, for example, Alan Kirbishley sailing in the Premier League, great football, all of a sudden get rid of him, go down the drain. Tottenham, we want this, we demand a manager who's done something in the game. Okay, Jose Mourinho did nothing. We want Antonio Conte. We've got Antonio Conte, did nothing. You know what I mean? And look at Tottenham now. So at the end of the day, I think anyone that's emotionally invested in this football club, who's a genuine Man City fan, who watches the game week in, week out, appreciates what this manager's done for us, we're Pep in. We always are. Anyone that's reactionary and gets upset, sat in his bedroom or his basement and throws his fucking controller across the room because City got beat, don't listen to them people. But at the end of the day, there will come a time, let me tell you this, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak and Sheikh Mansour will not accept their football club standards dropping too much. 1 season drop-off in 4 when you've just won 4 Premier League titles is not a time to have a crisis as a Man City supporter. So at the end of the day, when the time is right, if it does start going down a sour road like Arsenal, they kept hold of Arsene Wenger for 10 years longer than what they should have done. Manchester City will not do that. This is why Pep's on these 2-year deals. It will, at the end of the day, his legacy at Man City will not be affected. If we go next season, he buys a load of players, we have a bad season, and we decide to go in a different direction, the statue will still go up. The Pep Joseph Guardiola stand will still be announced, and he'll still be the best. But at the end of the day, then now, it doesn't help anybody going on Twitter and creating a space called Pep Out. It just feeds and fuels every dickhead in the world to say Man City fans already want Pep out. But let me tell you this, we're all Man City fans on here. We love the club. And nobody wants Pep out. We'll back him to the hill. And on Sunday against Liverpool, we'll all be in that stadium, bouncing, and we're going to get behind Pep and that team. Please hit the like. Please subscribe. Martin, last words?
Yeah. The people who are doing the part, I get it. There's no blind faith. We are criticising Pep. But just listen, City till we die. We are Manchester City. We are not that fan base. We don't want to turn into Chelsea. We don't want to turn into them down the damn road. Our board is the best in the world. They are not going to allow us to do that. Let Pep do the rebuild. Let the board do what they're going to do. They are going to do everything you are asking for.
They've already started.
Money. We are going to change the tactics. Just let's get to the destination and enjoy the ride. It's one season off. One season off. It will make it taste so much sweeter when we get it again.
Yeah.
And just to end, Martin, great point. Just to end on that, there is a bus meet on Sunday. Please check out the 1894 socials and people's socials to see what's going on. If you've got a bit of time before the game and you want to get down there and meet the coach, bring the kids, get the flares, do that, you know what you can do. But let me just say this. I appreciate all the lads on the panel giving up their time on a Friday night. I know people have got missuses and kids and you want to be doing stuff and that, so we really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone in the chat that's backed this channel. Please hit the like button. It's really, really good to see everybody here. And all I'm going to say is, follow all the boys on here, support them online. If you see them on Twitter, get behind them, help them out. If you go on shows and these lads are on the shows and they're getting a bit of grief, go in there, back them, back our own. Come on City on Sunday, keep the faith, big up Alan Ball, the Bernabeu toilets. Let's go.